Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Rivera Wolfson, and I'm an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. And I help people connect to their inner power to gain clarity and confidence to lead their life with passion and compassion. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're going to get right to the point because we're going to make this show quick. I've got some things to do today. So let's talk about it, okay? Is it a test? Is the universe testing you? Okay, so we're going to talk about this in context, right? So you've made a big declaration to the universe. You said, I'll never tolerate that again. And you say, I'm going to never do this. I am going to choose to live my life this way. So you do it, you say, this is what I'm doing. And then you take the leap, right? You leave the job, you leave the relationship, you sort of settle in and go, okay, that old version of myself is gone. I'm done. Okay. And just as you start feeling good, just as you start picking up momentum, boom, doubt shows up. And how does it show up? It shows up in the form of something knocking from the past, right? A person, a situation, right? Some type of challenge. And you start thinking, is this a test? Right? And we're going to talk about a couple of examples. And then you have to ask yourself, how can I move forward? What am I supposed to do with this? You may be asking, right? So you declare that you're going to leave your job, right? And you're like, I'm done with this. They don't appreciate me. They don't value me. And then you go ahead and start applying to new jobs. And suddenly your boss comes up to you and says, you know what? We want to give you a raise and we want to give you a new title. And suddenly you're like, oh my God, is this what I've been waiting for? Or is this just a test? And I really should just move on. Okay. So this is where we're going to. Okay. Mercury retrograde is today. So pardon me if my mouth doesn't work properly today. Okay. But this is what we're going to talk about. So let's do our warm up. Let's do our breathing. Let's do our stretching. Let's do our little prayer. And then we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Okay. So buckle up because we're going to talk about this and it's going to be a quick one today. But if you want more information, you can always reach out to me. Or if you have your own sort of universal test that you are facing right now and you need support to navigate it, then don't forget to go ahead and book an appointment with me. Okay. So let's do this. 3 deep breaths. Oh, first light the candle. Okay, so let's light our candle here. Our little money candle, spreading money and cash to all those we know and love. Anyone who needs a little support, you go ahead and just call it into you. Okay, so let's do 3 deep breaths and hold and release. Remember, as you are breathing in, you are pulling in all of the love, light, and love for life force energy the universe has for you. You are holding it to activate your cells, and then you are releasing anything that does not serve you. You are dissolving and dissipating all limiting beliefs and energy that is not supportive at this time, and releasing it with your exhale. Okay, here we go. One more time. And hold and release. Okay, and one last time, make it count. Bon dia, and bon dia. Thank you for being here. Okay, last breath. And release. And while you are releasing, feel free to start stretching, just as I do. Okay, and we want to release any sort of tension or stuckness, any sort of stiffness in your body. You want to release it so that you can feel the flow of the universe, the flow of the energy going through your body. Anywhere that you may feel stuckness or tension or even pain is where you are holding energy. It is where the energy has sort of hidden itself or piled itself or collected itself in your body, right? And it's stuck because it needs to be released. It needs to be worked through, usually through something with your body, but also through your emotions. And it all kind of happens together. Okay, here we go. All right, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And let's say our prayer. You can say whatever prayer you want to call in your spiritual support team. I will say mine, and we will set our intentions for the day. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us all set an intention that it is in alignment with our highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pull and the words of others today and always. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything you do. I appreciate you. I serve you, and I am grateful for any wisdom you may have for me or the collective on this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay, so let's get to it. Oh, but first, as you are reflecting on your GPS word, as you are setting your intention, I want you to just go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Ding that notification bell. And if you do not know how to set up a GPS word to anchor you into your intentions, then please go ahead into my description and download your free transformational guide. And there's some tips and tricks and some energy management techniques to help you navigate life, and also to help you pick your GPS word so that you can start making choices and taking actions that are in alignment with the thing that you want the most. Okay, so that brings me to today's topic, right? We've talked about sort of analyzing the things that happen to us, reflecting on what it means to us, the shifts and changes that we can make. We've talked about your GPS word and leaning into that GPS word. And today we're going to talk about whether or not the universe is testing you. So, first of all, I want to just say it right out off the bat. I don't believe that you are being tested in the way that we think, right? It is not a test for your worthiness. It is not your test to prove your faith or commitment to God or to yourself. Actually, I take that back. It is potentially a test for your commitment to yourself and the declarations that you've made. But what it is usually an opportunity for you to refine what you have asked for, right? Like, it's like you go to the universe and you put in an order, right? The universal, woo, excuse me, that kind of came out of nowhere. Okay, so you make a big declaration to the universe and you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this, or I don't want things done like this, or this no longer serves me. Okay. And this can be in any situation. Like I said, it can be a job that has just been using and abusing you, or, that has not had proper boundaries and you are just exhausted, burnt out, undervalued. Okay. This can be in a job. It can be in a relationship. It can be in a situation. Okay. And suddenly you say, you know what? That's it. I am not going to take this anymore. This is not what I want. This is not how I want my life to go. Okay. And so you make a really bold choice, right? You quit your job. You speak up. You advocate for yourself. You walk away, right? Again, work, relationship, whatever it is. You decide to make that bold choice and you do it. Okay. And then a little short while later, okay, so you've done that move, you feel the momentum, you feel yourself confident and clear. This is the path, I'm doing this, let's go. And all of a sudden you get a phone call, okay? And like I said, I use the example of the boss, but let's go with relationships, right? You're in a relationship with someone. You're waiting for them to make a proper commitment, or you're waiting for them to step up in, valuing you and valuing your contribution, or, you just want things to sort of go in a certain direction, right? And you've decided this is it. It's just clearly not what I'm looking for. And then that person shows up. Or sometimes it's not that person. Sometimes it's an ex, who you have history with, but be careful, because it could be someone whose energetic pattern has a similar signature to what you're dealing with now. And that's the key, where you have to really pause when something like that happens, especially if it's something from your past that shows up into your present. And you need to ask yourself, is this past situation, is this new, old opportunity that is trying to renew itself in my life? Is it for my highest good? Is it in alignment with my GPS word, or with what I feel is most important and a priority for me as I move forward in this new lease on my life? Right. And that's the question. Those are the things that we really need to look into, because it's not like God is testing your resolve. It's more of a clarification, right? So if an old energy shows up, an old situation, an old challenge, okay, or a recent challenge that you thought you had, made a declaration for, that you have put the kibosh on, right? Like you just were like, this is it, and it starts to creep back in, and you feel yourself softening. You feel yourself wanting to step over your own boundaries, or erase your boundaries, or adjust and edit the declaration that you've just made. I'm going to tell you, you can do that, right? That's what free will is. Free will is, you can welcome anything into your life that you choose to welcome, right? If you say, you know what, yes, I accept this, then you are not accepting it just for yourself, but you are telling the universe, yes, I want more of this. Anything that you focus your attention on, anything that you agree to participate in, you are saying more of this, please, to the universe. And so you need to ask yourself, when that old relationship shows up for you, or when that old boss shows up and says, hey, I'm going to give you a raise and I'm going to give you a new title, I need you to really ask yourself, is it the raise and title that I really wanted? Is that the only thing I really wanted? Was that the only thing that was missing in my old job, right? And so the rest, that declaration was a play for advocating for yourself. So you were like, you know what, I'm going to leave because you're not giving me what I want. But then when they give you what you want, you have to ask yourself, is that what you wanted? Will that title and that raise give you what you need, or was there more that was not functioning? Was the culture toxic? Are you going to be, is there going to be even more expectations of you at work, creating an environment of potential burnout for you if you choose to go back? So this is where our sort of analytical skills and our mindset tools need to come into play, right? Analytical skills is, you got to really think about it. Like, is this really the best for me? Especially when we're talking about old relationships. And jobs are just like relationships. If you guys saw my episode on relationships, that you know jobs, your relationship to your career, your relationship to your children, your relationship to your passions, to the things you love, they're all relationships. And so you need to ask yourself, is this relationship a good give and take, a good balance? Do I give and receive what I need from this relationship? Do I pay attention, give it focus and support, and then do I receive in return value or support, or financial compensation, where I feel good about that exchange, right? You need to ask yourself those questions. And if there's any part of you that's like, ugh, it's not exactly what I want, but it's better, okay, you need to ask yourself, is it worth accepting a little bit better of a situation? Or do you take the leap and say, no, I don't want any of this. I want something new. I want something fresh. I want something completely different, unattached to anything that I've already experienced, right? Unencumbered by that sticky energy between you and whether it's the job or the person, right? Or the situation, right? If you can have a clean break and put yourself in a completely unknown situation, but a potential opportunity for you to forge a new path. You need to ask yourself, is that really what I'm looking for here? Right. And I can't give you the answer because sometimes it is that you advocate for yourself and then you get exactly what you want. And then you accept that new position and the new money. Or it's a relationship and you've been very clear with what you want. And then the person says, you know what, you're right. I do want this for us. Although I'm always a little bit hesitant with relationships because they can get sticky. You need to ask yourself and you need to analyze for yourself what kind of relationship it's been. What is that give and take? Have you just given your all and not received anything in return? Right. And there's layers to relationships. And this is why I say only you can make a decision. But I'm telling you this, and I share this sort of system that happens because it is a way for you to refine your declaration to the universe, right? So it's just like ordering, as I said, but I don't think I completed my thought, like ordering from Amazon, okay? Or from an online company, right? And you can't quite see it. You have an idea of what it looks like. You see it in the picture and you're like, you know what? That's what I want. And so you order what you want and then it shows up. And then you're looking at it and you're like, you know what? It doesn't quite fit. I don't like this color, right? So then you're like, you know what? I don't want these shoes anymore, right? I thought these shoes would look great, but when I put them on, they just don't fit right. They're just too tight. They just don't look as good as I thought. I would like this color, but not this style. This style doesn't work for me. And you send it back, right? Well, life, believe it or not, works a little bit like that, except it is like your returns, right? And your things that you receive, right? It's an energetic exchange, right? So once you accept it and welcome it and say, yes, I am going to keep this in my life. That is just like telling Amazon, know what, that product you sent me is perfect. No need to worry. But if it's not perfect, well, we're not really talking about perfect. I don't like to use the word perfect, but if that product um, is not working for you, right? Like you put it on, but your feet hurt, or the color just doesn't match anything that you're wearing, right? Then you're gonna want to send it back, or you're going to want to not wear it because it doesn't fulfill your purpose, it doesn't fulfill your needs, right? And this is what you need to ask yourself. Because when you're making these declarations, right, and then the universe is going to throw a bunch of stuff at you, right? Maybe potentially new opportunities, maybe some old things, and you get to sift and sort through. Just like when we talked about decluttering, right? You got to take everything out of the closet, right? Remove everything and then go through things one by one and decide, yes, this makes me feel good. I'm keeping this. No, this does not make me feel good. I don't know why I still have this in my closet. I need to get rid of that. I need to donate it. I need to, be done with it. And this is what this is. Okay, this is not a test, but an opportunity for you to refine what you want. All right. So if you are leaving a relationship, all right, and it's like you have gotten to a point where you're like, I cannot do this anymore. This relationship is not serving me. I don't feel valued. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel that this is a good energetic exchange, right? And then that person comes back to you and says, you know what, you're right. I love you. I will do anything you want. You have already been in that relationship and you need your instincts to kick in to tell you, are you hoping that this situation, this person is going to change? Or is this situation going to remain the same and the change only temporary while you sort of release your defenses and get back to the way things were? Okay. You don't want to go back to the way things were if you've made a declaration that the way things were aren't working for you. Now, you are allowed to go back. Like I said, free will. You can go back if you want. But let me tell you something. If you go back, you are going to repeat that story again and again. If you go back, you are going to have to face that refining again, right? You're going to have to make another declaration and say, okay, I want this from this, but not this. And when you set that boundary, you have to follow through. Whatever the boundary is that you set, you don't follow through, then the universe is not clear on what you want. You are not clear on what you want. And then it becomes really hard to make declarations and expect to get exactly what you want, because your choices are muddied up in the things that you're attached to from the past. Your actions are muddied up with your fear that you are not going to be able to step into this new life of yours because you're unable to release the old life. Now, releasing your old life and stepping into your new life is not necessarily easy, okay? But it requires choice. Every single decision, every single action requires you to choose your new life, your new boundaries, and supporting that declaration, or then you're not doing that. And so you are not moving forward as quickly as maybe you want. And the evidence will be in what your life looks like. If you look around and nothing has changed, then you are not evolving, right? Because you can't evolve by making the same decisions over and over again. You cannot evolve by making a declaration saying, I'm never going to do this, and then be like, but maybe this once, but I can do it right now, right? Because then the universe is like, oh, they're still good with the abuse. Oh, yeah, they're still good with burnout. No problem. Keep giving them the stuff that they're saying yes to. Okay. Now, I want to just have a disclaimer here. If you are in an abusive and truly toxic relationship or situation, then please find help. Please find a professional that can help you to navigate that trauma, because I know it's not as easy as saying, I'm out, okay? My grandmother was in a abusive relationship, and I understand how difficult those things can be. And so I am not saying this callously whatsoever. But what I am saying is that you have to decide what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. You get to set the boundaries of what you want. And if you cannot, that's okay. Be kind and compassionate to yourself. And every time you make a decision and every time you take an action, get closer to what you want. Set that boundary a little tighter, be a little tougher with those boundaries, okay? It's going to take practice because you're not used to it. You probably don't know how to set boundaries if you're in a toxic relationship. You probably don't know how to get out of these situations. But if you've made that declaration, then your inner spirit knows this is what we need to do. And now you, in this physical vessel, you have to follow through. Spirit can know exactly what's good for you. But if you are not training your body or practicing doing what's best for you, if every time you make a decision, you are practicing doing what's best for someone else, or if you're just making decisions to keep the peace, then you are not advocating for yourself and for your needs. And that is what you need to start practicing and working on, because it is going to be uncomfortable to make other people uncomfortable. It is going to be uncomfortable to set boundaries that are important to you. But I promise you, when you start to do that, you are going to see your life and yourself feel more clear and more confident. And you are going to feel empowered to continue moving in that path, to continue advocating for yourself and for your needs. That's all I'm saying. Okay, cards popped out for this, and here's your messages for today, and then I'm wrapping up. Okay, we got the 7 of discs, right? 7 of discs, 7 of pentacles. This is reflection, okay? Yesterday we talked all about Mercury retrograde and how it's an opportunity to reflect and review and revisit relationships, situations, your personal goals. right? Where are you with everything? What is it that you want to keep? What is it that is contributing to your future? And what do you need to release? This is time to contemplate, right? Again, reviewing and revisiting old decisions, old actions, right? And deciding what am I going to continue to do? What is serving me? What is serving my ultimate purpose? And what am I done with? What am I going to pick off this tree and leave that fruit? Okay. And the last one is the Three of Wands. All right. This is a beautiful card. The Three of Wands is ready to go out on an adventure. Okay. Three of Wands is let's go. Let's forge a new journey, right? So it's exactly like reflect on what is happening, on what is working for you and what isn't. And then you go ahead and you set out on your new adventure. You set out on that path that is going to bring you to that place that you have been dreaming of, that place where you feel clear and confident and sure, and that your GPS word is, completely embodied in you in every choice and every action, right? Don't be afraid to go out and do something different, to set out on something new, okay? Because you already know everything that you've been through. Life is supposed to be an adventure. It might be scary, but moving on and trying something new and having that curiosity, like, I wonder what's possible for me, is what's going to bring you all of the beautiful opportunities that you deserve in your life. If you are not living a life that is completely fulfilled at this moment, then know that your answer is not back there. Your answer is straight ahead, forward. Keep moving and trusting yourself that you deserve the very best, because I promise you, you do. I love you guys so much. I'm off. Have a wonderful day, and I will be back tomorrow for a fun Friday. Love you all. See you soon.